This is our official first video of the Soul Delicious program. Just a quick, not quick, but we're not going to go too much into it today. I just wanted to give us a little overview and really more than anything, the momentum to start today. It's Sunday, the first day of the week, and tomorrow we're going to have our first class, our first training, and then our coaching calls on Wednesday. But it feels like a really magical program for me because of where we're taking the energy and the intention and really optimizing that frequency within us so that we can enjoy our food that much more. And I've been in like the food addiction world myself since childhood, in my own struggles. And it wasn't until I was 17 where I recognized that I was in this addiction to food, because it escalated right to the point where I was eating 90% of my calories from ice cream. And I was in tears like on a daily basis because I was having these really highs and just so happy and almost unrealistically happy and optimistic. But then I would have these lows where I would just crash and I'd be in tears and depressed. And my mom would be trying to console me, but she had no real understanding of what I was going through, right? Partially because she was in her own addictions, but she also didn't have awareness of those, and she didn't know the pain that I was in. And so it was her wanting to fix the problem without actually even having the understanding of what the problem was. And I knew to some extent, but I didn't actually know the root cause. I knew the problem I was dealing with was addiction and attachment, but it wasn't until years later, and even really this last year, where I fully, and I'm sure there's going to be more breakthroughs and insights on my own journey. So to say I fully understand would be kind of missing the point, in that this is a journey of where we're continually learning about ourselves. But I understand the root cause is disconnection from myself, from my loved ones. I just realized I have my shirt on backwards. But as you get to see the other side. So disconnection from myself. And because of that, I was also disconnected from those closest to me. I wasn't allowing them to fully see me because I wasn't even fully acknowledging myself and letting that essence come through. And then disconnected from my faith and my higher power, which in part was because what was presented to me was not resonating. And it took time for me to find what did resonate. But disconnected from nature, living in our fast-paced society. I was in the middle of a city. My family had very little experience being out in nature, aside from Lake Erie, being on the beach a couple times a summer. And so there was a lot of disconnection that kept me from knowing who I really was, and from being able to identify what I needed. The emotions that I wanted to feel were being filled by the food more than anything, because it was so dependable. It was so reliable. I had a big family, and so there was always a lot going on, but my needs specifically weren't always addressed. It was like I was the oldest, in a way, the oldest child, and independent, and having to fill those needs myself, but I was just a child and didn't know. And we're all adults now, but if you think back to your journey, it's very likely that it started in childhood as well, right? Even as an infant, we're dealing with emotions, and they're being soothed by parents and our caretakers, primarily with food. That's always that's the easiest answer, right? Someone would rather feed you a bottle than changing your diaper. And they're not aware of all of the other other sensations you could be feeling that might need to be addressed. But really, it's the first answer is the bottle. And then as you get older, it becomes other foods. And in my case, it was like French fries from McDonald's, as a toddler. And so there is just this amazing awareness that is happening in our collective. And I think it's time that we have a program. What I'm intending for this program to be is one that is about raising our awareness and our consciousness around our relationship with food. And so you could be feeling like an addict or feeling like a recovered addict, right? Like this is just something that you're a journey you're on and you're interested in because you know you can keep growing, but you don't necessarily feel addiction to any one thing, or that term might not resonate, and you're just in this attachment or this craving cycle with certain foods. And so what we're here in Soul Delicious for is to raise our awareness, and in what I feel to be the most beautiful way of looking at our energy and the frequencies that we're embodying, because we can raise awareness around all sorts of things, right? Nutrition, the fact that you're here says a lot about what you understand about food and nutrition and the awareness that has grown from that, or within that realm. The awareness has helped you, empowered you to eat better, to fuel and nourish yourself. What we're not doing, or in general, what we're not doing within a healthy eating community, whether it's specifically plant-based or at large within the healthy eating community, we're not addressing the emotional issues. There's some amazing programs doing this work in their own way, addressing food addiction. Two come to mind right off the bat, and they take very different approaches. They're kind of at odds with each other, and I love both of them. You may be familiar with Bright Line Eating and Chef AJ's Ultimate Weight Loss Program, which is like marketed around the weight, but really there's a food addiction piece to it as well. And both of those programs are fantastic, and neither one resonated with me. I loved the leaders, and I loved the community and the work that they were doing, but neither one captivated me as a food addict, or that's what I thought of myself as, and someone even teaching this and really dealing with it and so much invested to heal myself. Neither one captivated me enough for me to do the program. Right? I've experimented with both in my own way, and neither one kept me on path with those programs. And so occasionally I would think why, or maybe I should have tried harder or something, but overall I just figured it wasn't the right thing for me. Well, in the last year, recognizing the growth that I've had and what allowed me to have that growth was recognizing the piece about disconnection and raising our consciousness around so much more than just our diet in the way that we've been taught, right? I have a master's in nutrition, so I understand nutrition. I understand diet, and that it's not actually a specific fad that you're going through. It's our way of eating. That's what diet means, is a way of eating. But when it comes to our way of eating, there's so much more involved than just the food, just the nutrients. Even if we expand it to include the food prep and the work involved in the community, the gathering around the table, there's still so much more at play here. And it goes back to that infancy, stage, and the emotions. And then that just builds over the years, more and more emotions involved, and more experiences, more of the neural networking, the things that we associate with different foods or different situations of being hungry or being full, the sensations that we experience in the body, the social situations the challenges in life that come up, and we try to escape. And food is, you know, like I said, the most dependable way to escape it, easiest to access. And so there's a lot to unpack here. And I'm really excited to go on it, and that you are here with me. You know, it says a lot. I didn't do a lot of sharing of this program because I'm doing so many different things, and it's actually been a little bit hard for me to put words to it, because it feels, in a way, it feels abstract and so beautiful at the same way that I was struggling with how to actually describe it and do it justice, right? So I just trusted more than anything that the right people would show up. And so we're going to have an intimate group through this program together, but I think that's even more powerful. Like anyone that's been participating in the Revitalize calls, it's really great to have this small, intimate call where we can actually have a lot of engagement. And what I'm also going to do is, because it's kind of an abstract, way that I'm going about this, and I would love more engagement to help me refine the process and everything we're doing, but also to help reach more people with the messaging. I'm going to do an option for people to join the training calls that will be on Monday, but they will not, like a lower price point. They can join the trainings only and then not participate in the coaching calls. And they won't be given the integration guides either. So they won't be having the, kind of the transformative journey, the way that everyone here is who's joined the whole Soul Delicious program, but then they can get access to the concepts. And at some point, if they want to jump in, then they have that option. But I figured that's a great way to open it to more people. Any questions so far? Who's excited? Excited? Yes, yay. It's so great to see some faces I haven't seen in a while. Hello, Nancy. Hi, David and Debbie, if she's there. Joanne. Hi, Jim. And it's great to see everyone's faces. I love that. But if you can't be live or can't be on camera, I understand as well. So like I said, we're going to have a training call and then a coaching call each week, actually for 3 weeks of the month. So then you'll have a full week off to integrate, reflect, catch up on anything you've missed. So the training calls are going to be on Mondays at the same time we've been having our Wednesday calls, which is 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then on Wednesday, the call time that everyone liked best was the one we had. And we actually had a few more people say that worked for them. So hopefully you guys are able to make that fit into your schedule. The dates of that, I'm going to give you a full PDF of the exact dates so you can write that down, but it's almost like the first 3 weeks of the month, and then the last week is off, except it doesn't work out that way exactly, because this week we're already in the second week. So our calls will be, if you want to jot this down, I can just let you know now. And then I will also send it in the email and a PDF. But our training call this week will be on the 9th, and then a coaching call on October 11th, training on the 16th, coaching on the 18th, training on the 23rd of October, and coaching on the 25th. And then we will have that next week off, which is the week of Halloween. And we'll come back November 6th for a coaching call, for the training, and then November 8th for coaching call, the 13th and the 15th, the 20th and the 22nd. The 22nd is right before Thanksgiving. So I'll do a little poll with everyone who's been on the calls and see if that works for everyone, because that's often a time to be with family. But if everyone's available, or at least most people are available, then we can still do it before the family gatherings, if anyone is in the US doing Thanksgiving. And then we have the week of the 27th off. And we'll come back for our first call on December 4th, the training for December, then December 6th for the coaching. The 11th will be a training, the 13th a coaching call, the 18th a training, and the 20th a coaching call. Okay. So that gives us 9 trainings and 9 coaching calls. And like I said, there's going to be an integration guide with each of the coaching calls. So this will give you an opportunity to reflect and start applying the lessons. There's 2 pieces to the integration, really, is actually doing the work up front. And I'm going to give you the guides before our calls, so you can have them to work on during our coaching calls. You won't get them before Monday, but you'll get them before our call, before the coaching call. So you can work on them, because you need to be doing that inner work, that reflection work, and then you can be applying it in life. And you can go, not you can, it will happen by default that we're doing the work together, those 2 processes. We're doing the reflection and applying and integrating it into our life, and more reflection and applying, and it's amazing. Let me see, I'm going to pull up our chat. I see some.
I have a question, Katie.
Yes, busy schedule. I know there's a lot here, and I know some people haven't been able to make our coaching calls through the Revitalize program, and now we've got 1 more hour added to every week. But I think that's important for the transformation to happen, right? We need the work to have the change we want. And so those training calls, if you can't join them live, you can watch the replay, but I would absolutely keep up with them. You have a full week to watch the training, so don't slip behind and then you end up, and if you do, just reach out, right? Like that's the first way to get back without committing an hour to watching the call. Just reach out if you feel like you're slipping, or you're just so busy, or you're overwhelmed, whatever it might be, because that's enough to have the connection with us, but also with yourself and your commitment. More than anything, it's that connection to your commitment to doing this work, right? So if you can't do the training or a coaching call, and you're feeling like you're slipping, for lack of a better term, just getting on to whether it's a small group accountability call, our Telegram group, or what we're starting up, our Facebook group, being there, being present there says you're committed. Okay, so if nothing else there, does the training material coincide with the coaching material? Yes, they will coincide. So you want to do them together. The coaching calls, it won't be essential that you watch the training video ahead of time, because I'll do any little recap that you need. But if you can watch them ahead of time before the coaching call, you'll be able to go deeper, right? But it's not essential.
Okay.
And the coaching calls will be 4 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday. Actually, those are 90 minutes. The coaching calls, we never go under 90 minutes. So they'll go until 5:30 Eastern time, 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time. The training calls, I'm going to keep those to 1 hour. That's my intention. Any other questions at the moment? So the reason that this came up, I thought about this, the concepts and everything we're covering at the beginning of the year, when I was, at the end of last year, when I was going through this myself and planning for the Revitalized journey. I thought, as my shirt actually says, which you can see here, it says, craft the lifestyle that lets your soul shine. Right? So what we're doing with a whole food plant-based diet, the reason I got so passionate about it was because it allowed the body to heal. It allowed the physical body to heal. And so I made it my life's work. It was like, this is what I'm doing to help people shine their brightest. Through my own journey, recognizing as I was doing a whole food plant-based diet, the way that it's taught generally, well, more specifically, the way I learned it with sos-free. But then as I fell from that standard of like almost perfection and started doing a more general plant-based diet where there was some flour added in, there was some gluten sometimes, there was more treats, it wasn't as pure. I learned a lot, but one of the big pieces was how food is not the only piece to our success, and more importantly, to us shining our brightest, for our light. And literally, we're going to talk a lot about that, our light, because we are light beings. So when I say shine, when I had this dream as a child of wanting people to shine, I had no recollection that we were actually light beings. And so for me, this is like really exciting because it's, in a way, it's bridging science and spirituality. It's bridging the work that we're doing for the physical body and energizing and repairing the mitochondria. And also that is what is helping the light to shine through us. When you see a glow in someone, regardless of their weight, right? You can have someone significantly overweight and there's still a glow about them. It's because they're doing enough to let that light shine through, regardless of the physical body. But that is much, much harder when the physical body isn't taken care of. So what we're doing with the plants is nourishing that physical, and it allows things to heal, that allows the energy to flow more. And then you also are opening that energy and the body for more awareness to come in. You're focusing on the physical sensations as you heal, recognizing what's painful, what foods are nourishing, what foods are maybe compromising for you at the moment, and building that awareness. And then you start to develop that mindset and strengthening the mind. And from there, we go into the energy, and where you're really can be a master of your energy as well. And that's where I think that mind piece is where people stop in general, within the not just plant-based community, but healthy eating community. I'll say we do enough of the mental work to overcome cravings, or at least to be addressing the cravings. We do enough mental work to overcome the food choices we were making to change to a different diet. But not always are we doing the mental work to actually change who we're being outside of the diet. And so depending on how much you're doing that work, it is reflective in how much success you have with this new way of eating. And so that's just the beginning. And there's so much more, even once you're eating like a whole food plant-based diet, the way you want to be eating it. There's still so much beauty to unpack within that mental piece and the emotional piece, right? Because you can be eating everything you want to be eating, just the way you want to be eating it, totally successful in that way. And you still might not feel your very best because there's other things happening. And so we're gonna, like I was saying with the Revitalize program, that's where it went from the body to the mind to your energy. What I think of as the spirit coming through. It's this like the spirit is a shared collective energy out there, and that is what is energizing our physical body. And how much you have that spirit coming through you, right? You could associate it with a religion, spirituality, but for me, spirit means energy. And I do have a bigger meaning for it as well, but the simplest way to think about it is your energy. And then when you have the physical body open, the mental body aware and open, the energy flowing, then the soul can really shine through. The soul we'll talk much more about, but it's a unique frequency. It's so unique to each of us. It is us. The souls are who we are. And when we are taking care of the temple that we're in, and everything else that goes with our existence here, our uniqueness can shine. Right. And that's what I want to strengthen and bring our awareness to, because it's a disconnection from that that keeps us going to the food, whether it's, a brownie, matcha latte, or even roasted sweet potatoes, right? Whatever is your kind of go-to to fill an emotion that you're looking for, or to escape what you're not wanting to feel. It's a disconnection from yourself, or a wanting to disconnect, or a lack of connection to what you truly want. And so we're going to talk in the first month, we're going to talk a lot about desire and the difference between our ego's desire and the soul's desires. And along with that, we'll do a lot of self-care and self-acceptance work. And then in the second month, November, we're going to talk more about decadence, because we each have a unique, like a unique style, but more than that, the unique things that feed the decadence we want. Our nervous systems are designed to sense things, right? To sense things. And when I say decadence, it's the richness, it's extra sensual experience. And our nervous system is designed for that. That's why we go towards the extra decadent foods. We want that decadence, but we can experience decadence outside of the world of food, and we can create nourishing decadence within. Oh, my volume must be off. I think I'm connected to my Bluetooth and I don't have my headset on, so I can't hear what's happening, but thank you for that, Nancy. And so along with the decadence, what we're going to be doing is recognizing our uniqueness, our preferences, and honoring those preferences, honoring our desires and what we crave and what we want, without having to give up or to settle in other ways, to lower our standards in certain ways so that we can have the decadence we want. Does that make sense? Okay. And in the third month, we're going to be even more focused on our lights, our individual, the exquisiteness that we are. We are so, so beautiful. Life is beautiful. And we are just one, relatively a tiny little piece in this spectrum of our reality. But at the same time, we have more power, more magnificence than we recognize. So we need to hold both. We need to recognize our magnificence and have the humble, be humble about, the size of what's here and our role, right? So having that, being able to hold the paradoxes. And that's what one of my strengths is being able to hold the paradoxes. First of all, recognizing them and being able to hold them, because I think that's the sweet spot. And that's a way, a lot of times that's where we find success, is being able to not just be in the middle and not like deciding one way or the other, but actually fully embrace both sides. Like be able to hold the extremes and find a balance, a harmony between them. Thank you, Jim, for being here. Thank you for coming while you can. No worries, Nancy, about the breakfast. I actually am often taking my meals on these calls because it's, like on Zoom calls in general, because we do have a lot happening. And I feel like it's a great time to make the most of it. So I never have an issue with anyone eating on our calls. The last month is going to be about our uniqueness and why does it matter for us to shine too, and how we impact other people. So I love that this program is aligned with the holiday season, October, November, December. I feel like it's so fitting. But I will also be tailoring it so people can join throughout any time of the year, because I do feel it has that power, and I would like to be able to offer it at any other time. But I will only be doing it live once a year through this season. And so I'm really glad you guys are here for it. The intention is for this not to be a cooking course though, because the focus is so much on our relationship with food. I don't want to bring in food and take the energy away from the work that matters most. Right. And often the food I'd be encouraging is not the food that I want you to be. It is not the level of decadence, you could say, but the level of sensuality in general that I want you to be experiencing in your life. Right. So if we're using food to cover that up, like we've been doing most of our lives in some way or another, then we're not focused elsewhere, focused on the work that we're here for. So there won't be any cooking classes, but there will be the relationship with food that we're talking about. And I'll keep bringing it back to that. And just like with Revitalize, you'll notice how it applies to all areas of our life, not just food, right? So you can be making it integrating in the way that it works best for you. Yes, awesome, David, too. I love it. So anything else? We have a small group option for this course as well. Some of you are already in the small groups if you're in Revitalize. But there might be some new people interested in joining groups. I know I had someone express interest in joining today, and they don't want a small group. So it's for some and it's for others, or it's not for others. But the small groups are fantastic for allowing even more connection and to really be seen and to have a sounding board just to bounce things off of as you go through your own inner work. It's nice to be able to share in that way. And we'll be doing some of that on our coaching calls, but the small groups are a way to go deeper. So if you're not in one and you're interested, let me know. You can email me directly, support@theculinaryGym.com, or you can let us know in the Facebook group or the Telegram group. The Telegram group is going to stay the group for Revitalize. I'm not going to start a new one. So if anyone is not already in that group and wants to join us, whether you're a Delicious Living member or you're just joining Soul Delicious, you can get into the Telegram group. It's a great way to share and also stay up to date on anything, because I can post in there quicker than I can send an email. But with the Facebook group, I am closing past Facebook groups I have and starting new ones for any new program. And also for the Delicious Living program, we'll be starting a new one, because Facebook does so much with the logarithms and everything that most of the people there do not see anything. So I learned that when we are going to do a Facebook group, it's best to start from scratch and get everyone in at the same time. So I will be, I think I heard that the link doesn't work right now, and I haven't opened that up yet. So I'll be starting the Facebook group tomorrow, and we can all be in there and be posting. And what I'm going to do with the integration guides is give you the guide with the questions to reflect, whatever the exercise might be. But I also ask you to share in the Facebook group, because that's a way for us to hold each other accountable. It's a way for us to feel seen, and by being seen or feeling seen, that helps foster the connection to the community, right? And expressing yourself in a writing like that, which you could do on paper, but this will encourage you to really write it out. It helps you see yourself doing the writing work, right? So I want you to be posting all of your assignments, or even any other insights, reflections, questions you have. Anything like that can be posted in the Facebook group. And if you're not on Facebook, the Telegram group is an option. You just let me know. That one is going to be the Revitalized journey for now. We're not going to open a new one for Soul Delicious. And anything else? Any questions?
I have one, Katie.
So this week, like I said, we're going to be talking about desire for this whole month. desire and self-care. The intention for today, and I'll say it again tomorrow, but what I really want you to focus on today is just having awareness around anything that creates craving or a feeling of wanting to binge, or like you can't go without it. You need it to do so and so, such and such throughout your day. Like before connecting with someone, this needs to happen. Before you are gonna feel at peace in an activity, you need to have something. I'm thinking of myself when I say that. No, I'm not able to hear you, Maggie. But let me see.
Actually, Josie
Yeah.
Josie was asking a question, and so we weren't sure if you're able to hear her. Or
Sorry,
can you hear? You can hear us now.
Can you hear us now? Oh, that's okay. I just typed it in the chat, but I was just kind of asking you. You talked about sending out the guides. Are we getting them through email, or do we go out to Facebook to find them?
I'll put them in both.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea. That's my goal, is to put them in both. I know people who use Facebook as their main platform and don't have to pay for a membership program. I would love that, except I don't trust Facebook to be the only spot to hold something like that. And I know not everyone is even on Facebook. So I'm going to put it in the emails. And of course, they'll be in the site as well. And like I said before, I'm wanting to consolidate and move to our Revitalize program to Kajabi, where my courses were originally hosted. And so I'm just doing the work to get that started. And so is anyone, if you're not already in Kajabi, or you wouldn't know, but if you don't have login and user details for the culinarygym.com, then I will get you those. So I have to do that work on the back end to make sure that you have login details for that. Because some people, if you just joined Revitalize, then you joined the coaching platform, which is separate. Okay, so just thinking about anything that brings up those feelings of like attachment, you're feeling a need for it, right? There's a difference. We're going to talk about a difference between connection and attachment. Big difference, night and day, healthy and unhealthy. Right? We want more connection, less attachment. And so there's things, though, we are attached to, even ideas, beliefs. We won't get into that immediately, but there are a lot of beliefs that you probably have attachments to and that are holding you back. But first, thinking about the food, any drinks, food, any other substance, if you're having, anything else, even if it's seen as therapeutic, if it feels like a need, like an attachment, you can't go without it, is something to just consider, right? To consider throughout our journey together. So if you want to just make a list of those things, also any other physical activity, like watching TV, Netflix, even work. It's easy to get attached to the work, and we have those physical things in our worlds that I want to address first. So if you want to just make note of any of those things, even if they're things that feel like something from your past you've recovered from, I feel like it's worth bringing attention to and doing extra healing around it, just so that it doesn't come up again, because you could do all this work with the food and get the food not just perfect, just right, but have a beautiful relationship where it's a non-issue. But then you get stressed and you go back to an old pattern that wasn't an issue during our time together, but you didn't address the emotions and everything behind it. And so when you are feeling that stress, it would be something you'd go back to, right? We want to not get into those situations either, because this is a more holistic program where we are addressing the deeper issues. It's going to apply to everything for the most part, right? It's only a 3-month program, so we can't address every single issue necessarily and get to the root cause, but we're going to do as much as we can. And it will, as deep as you're willing to go, it's going to affect those areas as much as you're willing to bring them into the conversation. And this is a safe space to share. So I want you to be fully comfortable sharing and being yourself and authentic, vulnerable, and know that you do not have to share. If there's ever something that feels too much or makes you uncomfortable, there's no pressure at all. And if it's something that you want to leave for a private conversation, if you want to email me or anything like that, feel free to do that, because this is truly about your transformation, your success, your journey. Okay. Yes, thank you, David. I have you in mind. Yes, with anyone that wants to join the new group. And you guys are still on Fridays, is that correct? Is it Fridays at 4? And no, I don't remember the time. Oh. What? Dancy. Yes, that's a great one. Grazing. So easy, especially when you're eating healthy, low calorie foods too. It's easy to justify, but there's something mental going on there, right? Or emotional. Awesome. Thanks, Maggie. Okay. So it's our work for today. You'll have more work this week with the coaching call. We'll go into this. I just want to get the conversation started about what are those initial, and I would love your feedback as we go through the program of what words resonate most with you, as far as the words like attachment, craving, binge, addiction, right? Because food addiction is its whole thing. And it's a very strong word that people really identify with. Some people identify very strongly with, and there's large communities around that word. But then there's a lot of people that don't resonate with it. And because of that, they're not finding the help and solutions, conversations, connection around some of the same challenges that someone with an addiction might feel, but they're not resonating with that term. And so I don't want to be triggering with a term, especially one that I don't identify with now, and I used to, and there's a reason. And so I want to talk about that through this program as well, but just finding, what feels good as far as the conversation around these things. Yes, and emotional eating is a big one. They're a big term as well. And so that feels more, for me, more aligned and more addressing the root cause as well. Or not addressing it, bringing light to it, I should say. With this program too, I'm super excited about the joy and the excitement and adventure that could be a part of it for you, depending on where you are. But it's finding in treating and healing and working with the emotional desires and emotional eating. There's going to be a lot of solution, a lot of healing through natural highs, things that get us naturally high. And that might be something as simple as an essential oil, or it might be something like scheduling a trip, planning a big trip, or taking a weekend to go do an outdoor activity. Right? There's a big conversation here. I'm really excited to have with you all. And so I hope you're excited as well. Thank you. I'm glad you like the background here. I'm in a new home. It's a beautiful home close to the water, so I can walk to the beach in the morning. And it's for my first time I'm actually sharing with some people, some beautiful souls. And so it's interesting because I haven't lived with anyone in a long time. So it's stretching me and helping my connection in certain ways. And also my discipline in staying true to the things that I want and how I want to be spending my time. So I'm in Playa del Carmen. David's still in, I've been back and forth a little bit, but I've been here since October. And it's a big part of when I came last March. I'll tell the story a little bit more on another call, but a big part of my finding connection again to myself and to many other important values that I have in life. And so it's definitely brought out more joy in me. And it's, really helped to energize this work and being able to share this with others. So, all right, with that, I look forward to tomorrow. If you can't be with us live on the Monday calls, again, no worry, you'll get the training or you'll get the replay, and I will get you access to all of that. My goal is to have everyone accessing or into the new program tomorrow before the call. But know that if that doesn't happen, you will still get the link to the call over email, so you can join us regardless. And if you're not able to watch it, you'll definitely have access to it by Tuesday morning to watch that call and continue. So yes, I want to make the shirts available too, Maggie. I just have to order more. So thank you. I will speak to you soon. Have a delicious Sunday. Bye, everyone.